Hi everyone, it's Olga Zarr from SEO Slide. This is SEO Podcast by Olga Zarr. Today I have a very special guest. This is Lisa. I met Lisa during tested SEO training with Lee Witcher, and she is really, I think, an SEO veteran, and she is doing really crazy things in SEO. And I decided to invite her. She accepted the invitation, so this is going to be a very fun episode, a very interesting one. So, Lisa, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me, Olga.
I'm honored to have you. I know this is one of those guests that everyone will just want to watch. So, Lisa, for people who may not know you, can you briefly introduce yourself? What are you up to in SEO, where you live, and all of that?
Yeah, so I actually live in Texas and in the North Texas area. And I started way back, I'm going to date myself, Olga, in the 90s when they just started having these things called websites. And my experience goes all the way back to the military in the 80s with DARPANET. So I've kind of been a computer geek my entire life. Like computers is all I know.
Mhm.
And instead of being an entrepreneur, I decided to go get a job after getting out of the military, and I ended up working for 20 years. And it wasn't until I was in my 40s that I was in corporate America, had a really cushy job, all the benefits, everything you'd ever want, and I realized this sucks, and I would have to do this another 20 or 30 or maybe till the day I died because it just sucked. So I actually opened an agency in 2011 and decided I was going to get out of corporate America. And 3 years later, I have only worked my business since. And so I work my own company, I work my own hours, and I live what I like to call the freedom lifestyle, right? So what I say by that is yesterday I worked in the morning and then we left at 1 and we spent the afternoon. We went and did some things we wanted to do. And then we came back and checked in a little bit, and that's the kind of life I want to live in the middle of the week, being able to do what I want. So that's kind of, I mean, it's very quick and in a nutshell, but that's kind of how I got to SEO. I do client SEO and then I do my own SEO. So I have affiliate sites and I do my own SEO with some of the properties that I own. I own well over 800 domains. So I'm very, very much into kind of half and half, do client stuff, do my own stuff. And then, as you may or may not know, I also own Agency Fast Track and have a whole training company as well.
Wow, that's really
Busy,
a lot.
but not
Cool.
busy. That's what I like to say.
I totally see you because like I've been on this freedom path for 2 years now, but I also had a job which was a little bit corporate. Even though it was remote, I didn't really feel like I was a free person. And I exactly wanted to do what you do, and I am able to do that now, and it feels so great. So
Isn't it?
I can totally understand. And that corporate job, was it like about computers in any way?
No, actually, I was a trainer for right around 10 years. I trained computer programming languages
Oh,
and Java, C Sharp, C++, that kind of thing. So I did that for 10 years and then I got laid off. I went looking for another job and I ended up getting into back then what was Countrywide, now became Bank of America, and worked my way up to being vice president of training for that company. So really, I've been in training most of my life, but training computers, training computer programming, computer languages. Um, when web dev came about, doing like the MC SD programs and I just all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I was not into SEO per se. I did on the side play with my own stuff. So I built my own websites. I had my own network of websites. At one point, I had the biggest travel network out there. I
wow.
had sites making 2 grand a month on AdSense, things like that. So I've just always dabbled in it until I got sick and tired of corporate America and decided I wasn't going to dabble anymore. I was going to go full on into the business. And that's what I did.
Okay, so you had to know a little bit about SEO still before that, right? If you are making money from AdSense, I assume your
Yeah.
SEO knowledge is way like older, right?
But SEO back then was a whole different,
Yeah.
and literally I remember figuring out that I could take text and just make it white and nobody would see
Yeah.
it on the page, but it was there. So I was hiding, the keywords and things like that. I don't even think we used the word keywords back then. We didn't even know there was anything called SEO. We were just, as I would call it, using tricks to get our sites to show up better than other people's sites. So So yeah, it was technically SEO, but it wasn't hard. And
Yeah.
as time progressed, SEO got harder and harder and harder as more people understood that this little thing called the internet was going to be important. I kicked myself. Like, if you guys have ever been there, you're at the forefront of something life changing and you don't have the business acumen to do anything about it. So back then
Mm-hmm.
I dabbled, I played. If I would have just quit my job then and gone full in, we wouldn't have to talk right now because I'd be retired, own my own island. But I didn't do that.
But I think you are on the way there, definitely, based on
Yeah,
what you said,
yeah.
what you do now.
I don't know about owning my own island, but that's only because I'm afraid of pirates.
That makes sense. Okay, so you set up an SEO agency in 2012, right?
Yeah.
If
So
I'm
in 2011, I set up what I would call a digital marketing agency. So we did website design, we did logo design, we did SEO. But back then, Olga, customers didn't know what SEO was.
Yeah, this is where when I started. So yeah, definitely.
They
This
had
was
no clue what it was. It just became an obvious service you had to do because after you would build a website, invariably these customers would come to you and say, okay, uh, I can't find myself. And I'd say, what do you mean? Well, I type in, dentist, whatever, and I'm not coming up. I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, you won't just magically come up. You got to do some stuff. And that's how we would start telling people. And I remember my first client was my first paid client. I was my first client for years, but my first paid client
same here.
was an electrician, an electric company that worked, in people's homes. And I was so afraid to do it for someone else that I actually negotiated, I'll do your SEO for $100 a month.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And so I did it. I had them ranked really well. And that's when I started getting confidence. My second customer, and I'd read some books and I had kind of invested in, some training, more of confidence building. So my second customer, I charged $1,400 a month.
Oh,
And I thought I was like on top. Now I'm charging, my biggest customer to date, we charge them $50,000 a month. So
okay.
yeah, it's really SEO is a confidence game more than anything. Like if you know you can rank somebody and you have the skill set, I have the team that can do it, you feel a lot more confident. But when you start, you tend to undersell yourself.
Exactly. So how big is your team, SEO team right now?
Not very big. So I try to keep everything highly profitable and everything we do is processed. We have very exact processes. People who, we break things down into minutia. So one process might take 5 different people. So my team, my core team's around 10. My total team, including all of the variable contractors, is only about 20 people. So it's not a huge team, but that's because we're relying on software, we're relying on process, we're relying on really that efficiency to keep us lean, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how you make a higher profit margin in your business.
Exactly. So you mentioned you like the clients like half of the time, client SEO. Can you tell me like what types of websites? Is it like a specific niche you do or like any preference?
Yeah, no, we
Or you
don't.
do everything?
Yeah, we don't really niche.
Uh-huh.
We don't. We're kind of. I would rather have. Let me just say, my ideal client today is so different than what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I just took whoever came to me because, frankly, I was just so thrilled that I was getting another client.
Exactly.
Now I look at clients differently. Will they grow with me? Meaning, if they come out the door and they can only spend $2,000 a month, that's okay. I'll take that client if I see a future of them growing their business. If they're the type of customer that wants to continually grow, that's the customer I'm looking for. So if they're an electrician and they have 2 trucks with 4 people, okay, do you want to get to 5 trucks or 10 trucks or 20 trucks? If they say no, nah, it's just us. I don't want to get any bigger. That's not my customer because invariably that customer fires you. And they do it not because you're not doing a good job, but because you don't have to get them that much before they don't need any more. And so they'll end up firing you. And as you know, in SEO, the hard work is the first year, the first 2 years. If you can get your customers to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I have customers with me that have been with me for 12 years doing SEO. That's easy SEO. We've done so much for them that they're untouchable. But if they're untouchable, how do I justify my means? Well, if it's a growth company, you can. They want more expansion, they want more areas, they want more things. So my $2,000 a month customer becomes 3,500, and then from 3,500 they go to 5,000. I want less customers that pay me more money. That's my ideal customer, whether they be a home services, medical profession. I'm not really that concerned with their niche. So I would say my niche are growth companies that
Yeah.
want to grow.
And regarding your own websites, like your own hustles, like affiliate websites, can you share more? Like what types of websites, what industries, any like observations since we had Google helpful content and those reviews updates? Have your website suffered in any way?
Yeah. So I love that you use the word my hustles. I love that. They're not side hustles anymore. They're full on businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I started my first, I would say, what we now call an affiliate site in 2004.
Oh,
And I was a scuba diver. So the first affiliate niche I got into was scuba diving travel. And I built out a network of around 100 scuba diving travel websites. And some of those websites, single websites, were making, 2 grand a month. And I thought I was on top of the world. And then AdSense, that's what I was using back then, changed their program.
yeah, remember.
And within a year, I went from making $2,000 a month to $200 a month. I didn't do anything different. I didn't have different traffic. I didn't have different anything. They changed their program. And through history, we've seen that happen again and again. Amazon, when they first started, were paying 12% commission. Now you're lucky to get 3%. And watching that happen was hard. It was hard on the pocketbook, obviously, but it was frustrating. So I tend to, and this is a weird little ditty that I've used all the time, and a lot of people know me for this. I like to double triple dip. And so when I'm doing something, I want to try to make money 2 to 3 ways. That way, if one of the ways stops making me money, I don't have wasted resources, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because back then I got so frustrated that I threw the baby out with the bathwater. I quit. I just said, screw this. The website, I still own the websites today. I'm thinking about reviving them and giving it another run, but I got frustrated and I just said, forget it. Why am I doing all this? And so I let them sit. And last year, I started doing affiliate again because I don't know. Why not? And I started coming up with a theory that if I built a site that garnered traffic and could get tons of people to it, that's the goal. Because once you have that website where you have a large audience, you can do anything with it. You can do affiliate marketing, you can do deals with people. Heck, you can flip that website. There's so many things you can do with that website. So I stopped focusing on the income of the website until the website had traffic, like traffic that mattered. Sure, I'll throw some AdSense on some of them. AdSense makes you nothing. Maybe I'll throw some Amazon affiliate on some of them. Everything I try to do, and I'm not going to sit and I'm not going to tell you exactly what niches I'm in, because the niches I go after for affiliate marketing are things that nobody will think of. I look for stuff that is so obscure that it's easy to rank, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like easy money. I don't know about you.
Yeah, same here.
And so I'm not going to get into CBD. I'm not going to do it. And people say, well, there's big money in it. Yep, there is. But think about how hard you have to work to not only get your site to compete in CBD, but to keep it there. So if it's me and I want to get into the CBD industry, I'm not going after CBD. I'm going after something that is very specific in the CBD industry. That's kind of how I work. I would find something obscure that gets a lot of searches, gets a lot of traffic, but not a lot of people are going after just that one thing. And then I'll hyper niche my website to be about that one thing.
Yeah, it is usually way easier to rank
Yeah.
a highly focused websites. I have exactly the same thoughts here. I wouldn't go after very competitive stuff. But how many times have you been to the tested SEO training?
I think this is my 7th time going
Oh,
through.
okay. So have you been applying that knowledge like to your clients or to your websites? And you are super experienced. And I'm wondering, aren't you like too experienced? Even though this is a super advanced training, do you still like use all of those things? Do they like contribute to you growing your methods? I know there is this community aspect, right? Like changing ideas, but what are your thoughts on that? I think you also brought some of your team members, right?
Yes. So I've put 2 of my uh, people that work with me through the training as well. Why do I go? I'll be honest. I feel like the more you absorb, the more you hear something, the more you stay hyper focused on what you're doing in life, the better off you are. So for me, yeah, I went into that training knowing 95% of what Lee teaches. In fact, before Lee had the class, a lot of what he would test and do, he was testing on some of my websites. He's got a community of friends. I'm one of his friends. And so uh, we're always testing ideas he has. But the number one reason I show up again and again is because I'll hear something. And maybe not from Lee, but from another person who's attending. And they might say something that just sparks my mind to say, oh, okay, so they tried that. It didn't work. But what if I tried this? It helps me, I don't know, get ideas about what I'm doing or what I maybe could do. And I remember something very specific, and I won't share Lee's class because it's not fair. But I remember somebody had said something very specific. I got an idea. I ran off and tested it. And lo and behold, it worked really well. Now, I have no obligation to come back to the class and tell them that, right? Not my class. So a lot of times I'm taking from that class and I'm learning things that I keep to myself. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I do bring them back, to the overall group. It just depends on what it's for. Like I said, I'm very protective of my affiliate stuff, so I don't share much about that because I have a very proprietary way of doing it that works. And Olga, I'm a trainer as well, but one of the things I've always said in life is if something works so well that it makes you filthy rich, why would you create a course about it?
To
So,
spread the knowledge with more people and to
no.
earn off the, in my case, for example, I created a course about audits. This was purely because I don't want to scale. I don't want to have like 10 people or 100 people because I want like the full freedom. And actually, I thought I could do the audits like for the best clients, the ones I really enjoy, and I can charge them a lot. But I can also like monetize it in this more passive way. So,
I do. I create courses. I have lots of courses. I have lots of
uh-huh,
programs. I give away my entire process in one of my programs, right? So you get a copy of it. But there's just some things that I just won't share because sharing it means I would lose that opportunity because and I don't not share because there's not enough to go around. I don't share sometimes because there's a few people that are going to ruin it. If they get a hold of it, they'll do bad things with it and then Google will shut it down.
right.
So I guess where I'm going with that is you got to be very mindful and careful about who you share your information with because in the wrong hands, right? What's the phrase? That's why we can't have nice things, right? So one bad apple spoils the bunch. If I'm onto something really, really insanely great, the only way I'm going to share it with you is you've signed an NDA. I know, like, does Lee make you sign an NDA? It's been so long, I don't remember.
No.
No. Yeah. So in my program, you have to sign an NDA to be in the program.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And there's a reason for that. Not only because I want to be able to share freely with you, but the students that are in that course, they can share freely without the fear that somebody in that course is going to turn it into a program and ruin their method.
That makes sense. That may be something I will actually use in my course. I haven't thought about it. Yeah, you just sparked an idea for me.
See, and that's why that right there, that's why you keep going and hanging out with folks. Um, I have my big 10X group. These are the people who pay tons of money to be in the super private group. We yeah, I lead the group and I lead the activities and the training and this and that. But the people in the group are just as valuable as me and or the training, like literally the things they share. And I think because we have that written rule, like all these NDAs are signed by everybody, and it's a small elite group, we get more value out of it because people aren't afraid to share. Like I can show a client knowing that if you steal my client, I can sue you because you signed an NDA. Unfortunately, in our business, most people are afraid to even speak the name of their client because if it's on a webinar where 100 people are there, there's always that 1 out of 100 that's going to call up your client and say, I could do it cheaper and steal
Mm-hmm.
your client. It's a crazy business, but I'm betting every business is like that.
So can you tell me more about this like training part of what types of courses do you have? Like how many? Is it about SEO?
Yeah. So I started the company. Obviously, you heard my background. I've been in training most of my life as a trainer, as a leader of training. So training's in my blood. And in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I had a couple of friends who, I had done some little webinars and training for people in the past, but not much. And they had actually asked me, Lisa, would you help? Like, I'm struggling. You seem to be doing fine. How can you help me? And I did. I put together a program, but that program, the first program I did, Olga, was not about SEO. It was not about web design. It was about business because 90% of us that get into this business, we're not business people. We didn't go to school for business. We don't know the first thing about business. We have a craft. We know how to build websites or we know how to rank websites, but we have no clue how to run a business. I didn't. And over the years of me building my business, I learned very well how to run a business and couple that with my corporate background. I turned my business into $1 million business within 5 years. And a lot of my friends were 20 years into their career of running an agency. And they're, like I had one guy say, I can't even make 100K in a year. So the first program really, and our signature program is how to get out of your own way, right? How to change your mindset, how to make sure that you're getting clients, because who cares about what you can do if you have no one to do it for? I delivered that course during COVID, helped a bunch of people. And then one of the guys came out and said, Lisa, like your processes are sick. Could we get a copy of your processes? Now, as you can imagine, I spent 10 years perfecting, or at that time, 7 years perfecting those processes. So I was like, and if you guys want that and you're willing to pay 10 grand, yeah, I'll create a course. And literally 8 people said, done. I'll be honest, I was humbled and shocked. I'm like, no, seriously, you'd pay that? Yeah. And we had, I think, 12 people in the first course. I didn't charge them 10 grand because I hadn't built it yet. I didn't know what it was going to be like. So I created a founder's deal, but I think I charged 6,000 if I remember right. And so that was the beginning of what I call, really where I was trying to help people. And that's, here's process. Here's how we do things. Here's the exact method we use. Don't get caught in a do it my way, but at least learn it my way first before you decide to tweak it and change it. Because I know my way works. Your way might work better, but at least try it this way. And we have built a couple of $1 million businesses out of this program, and the rest of the students are steadily working their way up to that. But it's like anything else, Olga. It's coming together with people that want to move forward. Yeah, I've got a SEO course that's just SEO, and I've got a web dev course that's just web design. I've got maybe about 5 courses. I don't do a ton, but at the end of the day, it's you, right? A course doesn't make you successful. You make you successful. And until people change their mindset, until they get the confidence, until they understand all the baggage that's holding them back, whether it be, and I don't mean to call your spouse baggage, but in a lot of cases, it is your family, your spouse, your upbringing, your history. There's so many things that are trying to not make you successful. When you face those head on and you deal with those things, that's when you become very successful. And so almost every one of my courses, and this shouldn't be about my stuff really, but that's why I want to talk to your audience more on this level. Everything you should do when you're trying to get here is to make yourself better, right? Skills are easy. I can give you a process and say, go do these things. And guess what? You'll rank. You don't even have to know why they work. Now, if you know why they work, you're better for it. But you don't have to know why they work. Just do those things. But if you have no clients to do them for, how's that going to help?
Yeah.
So everything we have is designed also to be profitable, right? It's great to build a website. Our average website is $3,500. That's what we charge for a website on average. My cost, the highest cost on a website for me is about $700. That's a nice profit margin. I want to do a lot of websites. SEO, the first year, I don't have a big profit margin, maybe 30%. Second year, 40. Third year, 50. Fourth year, 60. Fifth year, 70. That's the key. The longer I keep a customer, the more valuable that customer is. I don't want to churn customers. So a lot of our programs are designed for serious people who want to be business owners. I don't want to be an SEO. I don't want to be a web developer. I want to be a business owner, sit back and let other people do the work. I'll just be the brains of the operation, so to speak.
I wish I could learn more from you about that. Like, can you maybe provide any like success tips, anything more to what you said? Because I know
Yeah.
my
So
audience is striving for those topics as
yeah,
well.
I have a YouTube channel with, I don't know, 60 videos on it, absolutely
Uh-huh.
free, right? You guys can go consume the heck out of a lot of what I teach in the programs are in that. The only difference between doing YouTube and going to a program with a program, as you know, Olga, when you have people with you and you're spending those 2 hours and you have homework and you're getting things done, it drives you forward. But just to get in the right mindset, check out the YouTube channel, Agency Fast Track. That's the YouTube
Okay.
channel.
I will
And
link it.
yeah, and then, get involved, find out where we are. I'll give you the link. I've got Facebook groups that are absolutely free. But at some point, and it doesn't have to be my programs, right? At some point, you've got to invest in yourself. Find somebody. That's what I did. I didn't get here alone. Find somebody that is a mentor of some sort, or 2 or 3 people. Don't get crazy. Too many. I got to tell you, too many people go out and they buy every course on the planet on how to do SEO, and it's like, so you want to be an SEO? And they'll invariably say, no, 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 I want to have a business. I'm like, then why do you keep taking SEO courses? Like, I'll send my people to the SEO course. I want to generally know it, and I'm a very good SEO, but at the end of the day, I'm going to pay to figure out SEO. Like, that's why I'm really good friends with Lee Witcher, right? Really good friends with Clint Butler. Like, the people I tend to hang out with are people who have the information I need, and in trade or vice versa, I help them with what I'm good at, which is business building. And so you have to take your business seriously. I once had someone, Olga, tell me, "Oh yeah, I can't afford to take a course, or I can't afford to hire, an assistant or hire a web developer." And I asked that person 3 questions. I said, "Do you own a house? Yes. Do you own a car? Yes. Did you go to college? Yes. How'd you pay for those? Oh, I took out loans. So why don't you take out a loan to build your business? Oh, I couldn't do that. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll invest in a piece of metal with 4 wheels on it. And we'll even pay interest to get the money to get that. But we won't invest in us. And that's insane to me. Like, you're so afraid of failure, you won't invest in yourself, then you need to deal with that fear, right? That's number one. Why are you so afraid you're going to fail? Deal with that issue first, because until that's dealt with, you probably will fail. Or you're failing right now because you're not dealing with that issue. I learned that my issue with fear actually was not fear. It came from not feeling worthy enough, right? So in my journey, I had to figure out that I was raised in an environment where I was told, this is your lot in life. You're not going to college. Like, our people don't go to college. And that's why I joined the military, because our people don't go to college. We go into the military. When I got out, I kept hearing the same rhetoric from my family, right? Like, oh, you get a job. Well, I think I want to, no, you get a job. And I let the influences of my past dictate my life. Once I realized and started hanging out with folks and reading and watching TED Talks and lectures and started thinking for myself, I started realizing, I could do this. I'm more equipped to do this than these people that are doing this. And there was one program, Olga, and this will probably help you guys a lot. There was one program I watched. I don't know. I was watching 2020. I can't remember what it was. And they had a person with severe Down syndrome. So this is
Mm-hmm.
a handicapped person. And yes, they got a little bit of help. We all need help. They opened a business and within 2 years had made $1 million. And something in that program was one of the catalysts for me. I'm like, dude, like, and I wasn't trying to be mean to say it this way, but I'm like, if that person can make $1 million, come on, I can do this. And once I got my head set on that, that was it. Right? I finally got over the, okay, my family told me I'd never amount to nothing. Our people don't do that stuff. I didn't come from good stuff. And so I had to get out of that. And you hear people talking about doing that when they live in Compton. I had to get out of the streets. What we forget is it's not just the streets. You could be living, in middle America, middle class. You could be living in the UK, Europe, wherever you are, and you are in a good family and you do have means, but you're still the product of what people told you or what you think. And until you deal with that, you won't succeed, or you will succeed at such a lower level. It's crazy. And it's not that hard. Like
Yeah.
I once had someone say, well, you're saying that I should divorce my husband. I'm like, no, I didn't say that, but I think you need to deal with that. If that's the issue, it needs to be head on. I had to do that. I had to do that with my spouse. We had to have,
Uh-huh.
we had to have talks like, when this door is shut, do not open it. But it was vice versa. What I got back from her on the other side was, okay, I get it, but when you keep your door shut for 8 hours in a row, that's not fair to me. I work in this house alone. Well, you talk to people. My job, I don't talk to people. So can you open the door? Can I put time on your schedule? Can we have lunch together? There was a balance that had to happen. And that's when I talk about dealing with baggage. So whether you're an SEO or web design person, whatever you are, if you're trying to succeed, it's because you want to make more money, you want to have more accounts, you want to have more clients. You're not going to do that if you don't become a business owner that deals with problems head on and deal with your baggage. Trying to fit a lot into a little bit of time, and we digress from SEO.
Yeah, but this is still very, very important matter for all SEOs. But what if this is something I have been facing, and I'm curious what you would say to that. So I come from Poland, so this was like a communist country 30 years ago. So my parents, they totally don't know the reality we are now in, and never had money, things to buy. Our parents are about save, 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 be secure, take a job, don't lose it. So this was again a very huge challenge for me, and I was pretty sure that once I get to that level of earnings, this will be like all I need. And at some point, I realized that like some amount was needed for me to satisfy all of my needs, because I could never afford a car. Like nothing was possible. I was all about like trying to live, right? And at a certain point, I built a house, I have a car, all those like nice things, and I was starting to face this type of like, I don't know, emptiness, something like, okay, no matter what amount of money I earn, it won't change now anything because my basic needs are met. So I have to find the meaning in everything I do every day. And I still think that SEO gives me that meaning, but I want to do it in a different way than just for clients. I want to do more like learning and all of that. So what do you say? Is like this chase after money, millions of dollars? Is it like the goal? Like you probably have faced a similar situation. How did you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and congrats, right? So most businesses fail within 5 years. And anybody who can make $1, you're part of an elite club already, because
Uh-huh.
most people continue to just work for someone else. And working for yourself is one of the most rewarding things on the planet, but it's also one of the most lonely things on the planet, right? We go to work because we have community. And you asked me earlier, why do I keep going to Tested SEO? Community, friends, like-minded people who are talking about those things. But like you, I experienced the same thing. I didn't grow up poor. We had a car, we had a house, but I was raised by my grandparents. My father lived in the house. Interesting situation. I mean, we weren't rich by any means. When I started making money, I struggled with guilt. Like, I'm not supposed to have this. And so I hid it. I didn't tell anyone. To this day, you don't see me posting on Facebook very much. And it's just recently where I felt comfortable posting reality because I had all this guilt. When I first started making money, Olga, I did what any person would do. I started spending it. I bought,
Yeah.
an extra car, and then I had a jet ski, and then I had, we bought a boat, and we bought an RV. Recently we built a second home. And like you, I got to the point where I'm like, "Man, I don't need anything else." We were about to build another house, a bigger, better house. And I love the house I live in. It's a beautiful home. And I don't know, we just kind of COVID reset that for me. It reminded me of how far we came and reminded me that it's not about the money. It's never been about the money.
Yeah.
We thought it was about the money, but the money buys you freedom. And it became more about the freedom for me. Like, I want to be able to, I love Disney World, love going there, adult Disney with the nieces, nephews, Disney, different types of trips. And I go 2 or 3 times a year now.
Oh.
I am now in a position where I can take family and something they would never probably be able to afford, and I can give that to them. And I can, like you said, I can educate people and help other businesses. But I had to have some of the things that's natural. But at some point you ask yourself, okay, do I want to keep doing the rat race of the grind? Have I built a system to where I just have another job? I just work for myself instead of the man now. And I got to that point, and I stepped back and said, wait, I have enough money. It's not about the money anymore. And that's when I started picking and choosing my clients. And now I only work with clients I can grow. And where I get my worth, Olga, and this might work for you. Now I get my worth, and I feel so good when, like in February, we had a customer call us, found us on the internet, pretty big AC HVAC company in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And they were struggling. And I was like, wait, you guys are a big company. They were struggling. And the owner shared, like, I'm not far from shutting the doors. I was like,
Mm.
dang, we came in and we turned it around. And not only did they thrive, but here we are in September, they sold their company
Mm.
and got out and did well. And so I helped affect that. I changed somebody's life. That customer called me this week. Hey, I'm starting a new company, and I'm not starting it without you. And that feels good, right? I said, I'm in. Yeah, just tell me what you need. But as you can help people, I do it through courses, training. I do it through my SEO work. We now do a lot of philanthropy with website design and SEO. Yesterday, we were sitting at an establishment at the bar. We ate at the bar. I don't know why. We just did. And we're sitting there, and the girl tending bar was telling us, I don't know how I came to this, but telling us about her dream to open a bakery. And for no good reason, she just resonated with us, and we both kind of gave each other the look, and I just spoke out of turn and said, hey, we'll do your website at no cost if you're really serious about this. So
Yeah, I had
it
a
feels good.
lot of similar situations, and I did a lot of philanthropy with SEO as well.
Yeah.
And it really feels so good, so good. So yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I'm totally there.
Yeah. And there's no guilt in making money. I had to learn that. Like, I shouldn't feel guilty. I had a couple of relatives, my mother, for example, uh, her favorite words to me were always, oh, it must be nice. And my mother didn't raise me. So
Hmm.
I didn't feel indebted to give her a thing. But I do care for my mother. I mean, she's my mother. I just don't have a good relationship with her. And it's grown over the years. And I'm so glad we have one now. But every time she would say to me, it must be nice, I held my tongue. What I wanted to say was, it is nice. And I got off my ass and worked. And I did all this stuff all by myself with no help from you or anyone else, by the way. But that would be mean. But here I was harboring all this guilt and being a good earner because my family, nobody in my family has amounted to anything more than a blue collar worker.
Same
And
here.
and I had guilt, like, oh my gosh, like, and some of them had that expectation, give to me. I'm like, why would I give you what I earn? Like, you didn't earn it. Like, if I give it to you, I've got to now go work to get more. It becomes a mental and psychological, issue. And business is more about that than it is about skill. We know how to rank. Come on, guys. Most of us know how. Unless you're a beginner, we know what to do. We're always looking for that freaking easy button. It doesn't exist. Just do what you know works and keep doing it. I've been using content, Olga, to rank since the beginning. And when everyone would do these tricks, I'd be like, nope.
Totally. Same
And
here.
yeah, people say, well, you don't use any links. I'm like, I do use links, but they're high quality, topically relevant, good links. I'm not phoning it in and buying, 200,000 links from legit. I'm not doing it. So,
Exactly.
we know how the craft is the easy part. Business is the hard part.
Totally. This episode turned out this is such an interesting topic, and so many people are looking to learn more about it. So maybe before we wrap up, a few more questions. So one, your courses, like, do you have a website? What platform? How can people sign up? Are they always open? Do you like open enrollments?
Yeah, so agencyfasttrack.com. You do have to put the www dot
Mm.
at the front because I stupidly used my non-www for something else. Shouldn't have done that, but I did. So you do have to type in www.agencyfasttrack.com. Here I am, a web dev and SEO, and I knew better. But we do have self-paced courses, but I encourage people, if you get into a self-paced course, every year, every one of our courses, at least once we do live. And we do
Mhm.
that so people can get that community, make those connections, have the ability to ask questions and go through something. So, for example, our 10X program, we went live, I can't remember when, I want to say in June, and we won't finish till October. It's a big program, of course. I think we're going to start doing that
Yes.
in October. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
We have a conference coming in 2025. That's a great place to come and learn from all of the people that I think are hot in SEO, not just SEO. I tend to bring business building people and web dev people and I think it's all interrelated. Um, but yeah, and the biggest thing, Olga, for me is I don't want you to buy a course because I want to make money. I want you to get into a program that's going to help you. I don't like to work with people that are looking for easy buttons. So if you're that person, we're not your people. But
I'm
if
not. And the
Yeah,
same
if you're
thing with
ready
my
to dig
course.
in, if you'll roll up your sleeves and you want something bad enough, my people will tell you, I've got a gal, Valerie, and I got to find, she wrote something that was really super sweet. I don't know. She puts in the work. I've invested in her, and now she's doing so well. I'm so excited. She has a child that has severe medical issues. She doesn't work a corporate job because she can't. She has to be available for her child all the time. And she struggled with her agency. And now her agency is in a place where she has the money she needs and she still has the time. So that's more important to me than anything. So, what I suggest people do is somewhere on that website, and if you can't find it, you can find me online, I promise you. Just schedule 30 minutes with me. I don't mind doing that. Let's figure out where you are today, where you want to be tomorrow. And then if a program I have fits, I'll tell you. If it doesn't, and I think you should go to somebody else, like if you're super advanced and you've got certain things dialed in, I'm probably going to say go to Lee's class, right? If you are at the very, very beginning and you're not really good at SEO, I'm going to tell you, yeah, go to my SEO class. Because if you go to Lee's class, you're going to be lost, right? And it's not going to help you. Because his is theory. You need that theory when you're advanced. Mine is practical. Do this, do this, do this, do this. So getting the right training is always important. And any guru, any educator, anybody in the business who's worth their salt, you get to speak to them. Someone who says, no, well, you'll speak to one of my coaches, or, oh, forget them. They're in it to make money. They're not in it to help people. I can't tell you the countless hours I've spent with people. Lee has spent with people. Olga, I know you are that type of person, very giving and caring. That's the type of people you want to get involved with, right? Yes, I'm going to charge you for my course. But once you've joined my family, well, then I'm going to give as generously as I can. If you buy a $500 course, no, you can't call me every week for an hour. If you bought our $15,000 course, yeah, you got my ear, right? So, how much and how willing are you to invest in yourself? And by the way, if there's ever, like, I even joke with people, if you really want to be in our 10X program, it's expensive. We always run a Black Friday. Once a year is the only
Oh,
time. Yeah, once a year I put that on sale because I understand not everyone, has the money. So we do try to make it at least once a year a little bit more affordable.
and do you offer like mentorship, one-to-one kind of life coaching, business coaching, those types of things?
I don't. It's all group, meaning
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that's what you want, you get in 10X. Once you're in 10X, my 10Xers do get one-on-one with me because now I know they've gone through the program, they've gone through things. One-to-one is hard because typically people are going to ask the same questions again and again,
Right.
and you have all the answers, but they don't know where to find it in the program, or the program's too big. So I have a tendency to say, if you've gone out and hunted and fished and you can't find what you're looking for, that's when you schedule a meeting with me. Most of our people schedule with me when they have situations. Like, for example, we had a fella who, he was trying to close a deal. He scheduled a call with me, 30 minutes. We sat there. I said, all right, when you go in there, say this, don't say that. What do you think I should ask for? And he's like, I'm going to ask for like $500,000. I'm like, this guy doesn't know you from Jack. You're not gonna get that kind of money. Go in and ask for 10,000, and then prove something to him. And then the next month, tell him you want 50,000. And then, so we were just having this whole conversation of what to do. And he walked in there, and he was bolder than I was. And his first contract, he got 50K. But if he would have went for 500K,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have got it, and the guy would stop talking to him. So sometimes it's just, Lisa, I need your experience to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. And the only people who get that from me are the 10X people. Not because they spend a lot of money. When you spend that kind of money and you go through a program, you've proven to me that you really care about your business and you're serious about it. If you go to a $300 program, how many did you buy this year? Right? That's what I ask people. Like, how many did you buy this year? I used to do that. I used to buy stuff. I have stuff. Oh, I don't know if you've done this. I buy it and I put it right up there on the shelf.
I have it with digital books on my Kindle. There are thousands of books. Some of them I have read, but some of them are yet to be read.
Yeah. I bought SEO Autopilot when it first came out. And I think it's SEO Neo now. But I bought SEO Autopilot. I think it was $2,000. Lifetime deal. Gotta have it. Never opened it.
Oh.
Never watched a video. Never did anything. And I can tell you, I've probably spent a good $100,000 on stuff that I never used. So what you get into, what you do is very important. I remember seeing when you launched your course. Obviously, your course is not something that I would probably take. So for me, it wasn't a good spend of money. But I heard other people asking, man, I think we were out on Sisters in SEO, and I saw someone say, is this person a good, person? And I'm like, dude, you got to figure out, go look at the course. Does it say what you think it's going to say? Does it tell you what you think you're going to get? Like, read it. And then if you're not sure, reach out to the person.
And there was a refund, and this was my first course, so it probably wasn't perfect. It isn't perfect, but I'm working on making it better and better.
That's okay. When I first started, I did just a little webinar one time, and it's the first time I actually asked to be paid for training without being in corporate America. And I asked for $27.
Oh.
$27. Again, that's my MO. And that was 2018. So I get it. I was actually proud to see you ask for a good amount of money. You can ask me what I think you did wrong. I think you did do something wrong, and I'll tell you what it is off camera.
Okay.
But yeah, or on camera if you want. But
yeah, we can do it on camera, like the final thoughts.
Yeah. So here's and this, you can do this wrong in any business. It's not just courses. It's just, so you're unknown. You don't have a reputation. Nobody really knows who you are. And I think your course was fairly priced, but you told people my course is worth $5,000 and I'm going to sell it to you for what was it, $600 or $700. That was a very disparaging number.
But a lot of people bought it. I think I am known to some people. I have a newsletter.
I think you could have had way more people. Had you get rid of the what you think it's worth stuff.
But that was the recommendation I got from my course guru.
Yeah. I mean, it's just my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but
next time I'll be happy to try your way, because there will be the next enrollment, and we'll see.
It's the same with whether I'm selling SEO, websites, courses. The one thing I want the end user to understand, I don't care what I think it's worth. What do they think it's worth? So tell me at the end, what does this do for me? What do I get out of this? At the end of this training, I will be able to do this. I will be able to do that. I will have confidence in this. I'll be able to, get this thing done. That's the number one thing you can tell people. The Russell Brunson method of selling is old school, meaning I'm going to value stack, and I'm going to tell you, I'll give you all these free things, and I'm going to build this down. I mean, that worked 10 years ago.
Good to know. Thank you.
I tried that once. It was a really funny experience. Like when I first, back in 2020, this was probably, I want to say this was like 2015. I did try my hand at this beginner, 2015, and I failed so badly. I sold like 10 copies of a course and I felt like a schmuck doing it. So it kind of jaded me for a minute. I tried Russell Brunson's thing, and excuse my French, at the end of the webinar, I felt like a douchebag. I felt dirty. Like the way he sells is, I'm going to trick you and manipulate you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. Hey, listen, man, this is where I am. This is where I came from. This is what I know. If you want to come learn this from me, I'll do everything in my power to help you. That's my
Yeah.
selling.
Yeah. I
I
will
think
try it with the next.
more people resonate with that than the stack, stack, stack. Now on your website, you can have bonuses and you can have some of that stuff, but I just don't think it's needed anymore. I think we're as a audience, we're smarter than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it worked back then for him because no one had ever seen it before. It was new. Just like a webinar. Webinars aren't working really anymore.
Yeah.
They used to work, but people are like, I've been down this road. We sit here for 2 hours. You give us just enough to give us nothing, and then you're going to ask me for a lot of money. I started doing free training.
Yeah. So all the people who bought my course were the people who were following me and knew me and knew my
Exactly.
stuff, were reading my blog. I had Google ads, other SEOs were recommending the course. No one bought it. Only my people.
Yeah. So the way to fix that is the people who know you, send them to a landing page. You can do whatever you need to do. But people who don't know you, totally different landing page.
No.
Right. And so I would say those people, because I saw a comment on Sisters in SEO about you.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had said something like, oh, well, she thinks her stuff's worth like $5,000 and, then she sells it for 700. So it must be snake oil.
Is it like a Facebook group?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because I am not part
Here's
of
the
it.
thing, Olga. Be excited that people are talking about you.
I am,
Because
and
your friends
a
or
lot of
people who
people
know
bought
you,
it.
I went in
So
and typed. I think Honey Witcher went in there and typed. There was a couple
I
other
would love
people.
to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
just
of
for
us, I'll
fun.
get you the link. Those of us who knew you went in and had an opinion, and that's a good thing. But if the landing page to strangers is different, it's better.
Yeah.
Because you have to earn trust. Maybe with them, it's better that they go to a 30-minute free training and, oh man, I like the way this lady teaches. I like what she's throwing down here. Okay, now I'm more interested in taking your course. But when you come at someone with a cold, type of audience, you just got to change
Mm-hmm.
your message. But this is great. We're talking about it because it's the same way when you sell a website, when you sell SEO, when you sell anything. Man, you got to know your audience and you got to tailor every message to every person to try to, meet them where they're at.
Yeah, totally.
So if you come from which I know you do, because, I've spent some time with you and tested SEO. If you come from that genuine place, just be you.
Yeah.
I tried
I
to
will.
be old Russell in the beginning and I felt like such an idiot.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it
Okay.
works for him, but it just didn't work for me.
Okay, makes sense. So Lisa, we'll be wrapping up. Where can people find you, follow you? What's the best place, or should
Yeah.
they just find the best place themselves?
If you just type in Lisa Parziale and spell it correctly, you will find me everywhere. But Agency Fast Track, YouTube channel is a great place to be. If you are on Skype, if you're a Skype person, my handle is Portside MKT. That's the name of my company,
Yeah.
Portside Marketing. You can find me on Facebook. I think I have sunglasses on or something.
Okay, I will share all the links. I
Yeah,
will
just
try to
share all
find.
that stuff, but you can find me. I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah,
I hang
perfect.
out in tested SEO apparently every time.
Yeah. So Lisa, thank you so much for being here with me. There's like so much knowledge, so many tips. I am very grateful that you shared it with me and with the audience.
Nothing better than spending a Friday with you, Olga.
Awesome. So thank you so much.
You got
And
it.
thanks everyone. Bye bye.